Hello and welcome to episode 42 of SquareXO's PlayStation Podcast. You'll notice that it's me, Dan, this week, and I am joined by Rebecca.
Hi guys.
And Nicole.
Hello.
We're back. It's been a while, and for that we do apologise. We've had holidays, birthdays and busyness, so we've been away. There's a few, obviously, different changes this week, as you'll hear from my voice introducing it rather than Joe. But yeah, we are sorry. We've kind of seen what you've been saying on Twitter, and we've been keen to kind of come back and show some love for the podcast. So yeah, you can obviously, mentioning Twitter there, you can follow us on Twitter and ask us some questions or tell us what you think of the show. We're on Podbean. You can download the podcast on iTunes, and we've got a website which is www.squarexo.co.uk. Talking of Twitter, I should give a quick mention, because we've not talked about it for a long time, our screenshot competition. Oh gosh, my voice is funny. Our screenshot competition. We've probably got some new listeners that haven't listened before. So basically we ask you guys to upload a PS4 share screenshot with the hashtag SQXONovember, and we pick our favourites, and at the end of the month there's a poll, and the winner of the poll wins a keyring. We've had some really good entries this month, as we do every month, so it makes our lives quite hard come the end of the month. I think there was we had a bit of a, I wouldn't say heated discussion, but we had a bit of a discussion on Twitter with one of our listeners the other week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which I think was a fair comment that he raised, in that some games obviously look better than others and are built for photo modes and have what was it? It was
something like real cars or real settings in a game, and that's all I kind of got from it.
Yeah, I think maybe we're a little bit oblivious to it, as we don't all play the same games and we don't all jump onto those things, but basically we'll pick a screenshot because we think it looks pretty regardless of what game it is. So anyway, that's kind of straight in and straight off topic there. I don't mean to do that, so, and that's my chair being creaky. Welcome everyone to episode 42, and we'll go from there. So we're going to open with some news. It's been a long time, and a lot has happened. So I think the last episode we recorded, or I wasn't even part of the last episode. I did watch.
It was the Paris Game Week episode.
Yeah, I did watch that whilst we were away on holiday, and there were some really good things. I won't go into too much detail about what I thought because that was old news. But that was a great episode. I enjoyed it. So well done, guys, for recording it in my absence.
Thank you.
So since then, lots happened. I think the major bit of news that I'll start with was the EA Battlefront or Star Wars Battlefront 2 in-game unlock fallout that kind of happened online.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, I think it's the most
downvoted thing on Reddit, isn't it? It's crazy.
So I think... Oh, actually, I've got because I looked it up earlier before recording, obviously, just to make sure I knew what I was talking about. And it looks like to me that EA have revoked all of that anyway, and they've turned off all in-game purchases, which is a quote. Yeah. And they now say that all progression will be earned through gameplay. The ability to purchase crystals in-game will become available at a later date. So hopefully that means they've listened a little bit. I haven't actually played it though. What has that made a difference, Nicole?
Well, yeah, it's kind of so you get crates within the game, and through getting the crates, you're enabled to unlock new star cards and customize the specialized classes. It's a kind of, so you have to get one thing, which is the credits, and you earn that through obviously progressing through the game, getting a score in a game and whatnot. Yeah. And in the loot crates, you get a chance of either redeeming some credits through duplicate things that you've received, which can be aesthetics, star cards, or you can get craft points. And craft points are what you use to unlock a star card directly, as opposed to waiting for it in a loot box.
Okay, so it's a bit like, obviously, I have to link it to another game that I've played. So in that 2, for example, there's chests that randomly give you an item or a piece of equipment that you have to build, So it's a bit like just being able to purchase the ability to build those rather than wait and earn it. You can just pay your way straight in. Yeah, I think it's good they've listened. But I don't think
they had much of a choice, to be honest. They got, it got
death
nasty.
threats, didn't they?
Yeah, it was nasty.
Yeah, I did then though read that Need for Speed is also guilty of the same kind of gameplay trait. I haven't played it either, but I think it's the kind of thing that's going to start sneaking into games, isn't it? I think it already has. So
it's becoming bigger in games now, which is annoying. I think microtransactions aren't really something I want in my games, but it's the way the industry's turning, isn't it?
As long as it's a choice, I'm not particularly fussed. Like, at the end of the day, that's the way things go. So you just kind of accept it and try and enjoy things best you can, regardless, I think.
Yeah, but in some ways, good on EA in addressing it, or at least saying they've listened. But by the sounds of it, the terminology they've put is that it's offline for now, so it will come back at some point, but maybe they're just tweak how it works to make it more fair. Second bit of news was, it's not as big, but THQ Nordic have acquired the studio Experiment 101, who are the guys that are building Biomutant, which we've mentioned in the past, which it's like that open world, you look like a kind of rock-hard cat, kind of, I just thought it was a bit interesting that I remember when we first spoke about it, it looked like a bit of a, I don't know, cheap knockoff game, but actually maybe if THQ Nordic are acquiring the studio, then there's some quite good promise there, and THQ are quite a solid publisher, so I thought it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
There's going to be some free content for Shadow of War. I thought this was quite good news because Shadow of War was another one that was had the finger pointed at it for microtransactions before it released. And there was obviously the gold edition, which was super expensive, and people were kind of questioning why they should pay nearly £100 for just extra bits and pieces. So Warner Brothers has announced that they're giving away, well, not giving away, but they're producing some free content as well, which isn't just exclusive to the gold edition owners. So they're giving a new mode which is called Endless Siege, which I'd imagine is what it says on the tin, and that's out today actually, as is Rebellion, which by the sounds of it's another arena. The quote from them is, "Crush the rebel Olags and Uruks in your forces as they seek to undermine the Bright Lord." That doesn't really mean much to me.
No, not either.
And they've also enhanced the photo mode, which with new filters, frames and textures.
That's good of any game, so.
Yeah. Photo mode's one of those things that I think since this gen introduced the share button, I think developers will start to take photo modes a little bit more seriously. And obviously, going back to what I said, rambled on at the start about with our competition, we see some extraordinary pictures, and I think it's obviously down to the fact that some people have got a very good eye for photography, but it's also the fact that games are really catering for this now as a hobby almost.
Yeah.
So that's additional content for Shadow of War, which is available now. And then on December the 12th, there's a higher difficulty level, brutal difficulty. So it's nice that they're supporting the game for everyone that bought it and not just those that have paid for a season pass.
Yeah, that was good.
Well done, Warner Brothers. The Golden Joysticks were held last week. I won't go through all the winners, but from a PlayStation point of view, Horizon won every award. I think that there was a PlayStation game that could win. So it won Best Storytelling, Best Performance for the voiceover, and also PlayStation Game of the Year, which
swept the floor.
Yeah, which is fair enough. It's
a big game
by the players, isn't it? So you've got to congratulate Guerrilla for creating what is probably going to be quite a big IP for Sony going forward, I'd imagine.
Yeah, we can. Obviously, we've got a user question about the Golden Joystick, so we can look into that a bit more in a bit.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll do that. Has anyone played Frozen Wilds?
No.
Oh, we can't talk about that then. Neither have I. And just as a little side note, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild won Ultimate Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd played that. I want to play that so badly.
So do I. I want to get a Switch, like, literally just for that at the moment. It's driving me nuts.
Black Friday this week, another thing we're going to talk about later, but you may get some deals. I still so undecided about what I think about my Switch.
You don't play it very often, do you?
I dusted it off the other day because I've kind of finished all my Vita games, which I know is impossible, but you know when you get to a point where you're kind of like, I've finished everything I want, there's nothing new coming out, so I kind of feel like I'm done with it. So I thought, I'll buy a new case for my Switch just so that it's got something new to live in, and I'll try and start playing it. And I've got a few games. I've got Bomberman, which I bought months ago, but only unwrapped a couple of weeks or days ago. So I thought, okay, I'll start playing this in the lounge or in bed rather than my Vita. But I'm just not drawn to it, and I don't think it's the quality of games on it. I think it's because it doesn't link to my PlayStation account, and I know that's really sad, and it shouldn't stop me playing. But I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to start again with that whole thing. So yeah, it's a weird one. But hopefully, I'm going to get Xenoblade Chronicles 2 for Christmas, I think. So
yeah, that looks good. So you got to talk all about that when you get it.
I'm going to try and keep more PlayStation focused, but yeah, we will mention that.
Yeah,
but I'd still recommend a Switch as a console, but for me, it doesn't have the same draw, and I'd love to be able to play my PlayStation 4 games on the Switch. Which I did put a tweet out about it at the time, but yeah, obviously that's never going to happen, or not yet. But, UK charts, we always touch upon these. I'll just go over it quick. So, Call of Duty World War II is number 1, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is number 2, FIFA at 3, and then Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are at 4 and 5 respectively. So it's quite it's multi-platform heavy top 3, and then 2 Nintendo games propping it up.
Have any of you guys played Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon?
No, I don't have 3DS.
Oh wait, I played Sun and Moon, but obviously, like, I haven't even finished it because I didn't like the new I didn't think
it was.
Yeah, I didn't think they put in enough newer Pokemon for me to be able to it didn't grip my interest right to the end, so I haven't even finished that yet, and I can't justify buying the next one when I'm poor as it is.
So I haven't bought the next one. I bought Moon last year, and if I was going to get one of the new ones, I would have got Ultra Sun. But my boyfriend bought Ultra Moon, and I have to say I'm kind of disappointed by it. It's exactly the same story. It's
really?
Yeah. So normally when they do these ultra versions of normal Pokemon games, they change the story, or they'll set it a few years in the future, so it's a different format, and it's exactly the same. There's a few new features. You can do mantine surfing now, and you can ride through wormholes, but the story is exactly the same.
That's awful.
I'm glad I haven't bought it, because I feel like unless you're a hardcore Pokemon fan who's like, I want to play every game, I want to experience it all, I feel like me as kind of like a casual Pokemon gamer, I would have been disappointed if I'd spent £40 on that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm quite I love Pokemon. Like, it's always been a big kind of part of like gaming for me, but I've really lost interest after Sun and Moon. But I mean, even like previous games, like you say, obviously with Pearl and Diamond, they came out with Platinum, which is like, you know, it's the middle way.
It's like the souped up version, yeah.
Yeah, but there's always that difference in story. It's not just the exact same thing. And it's kind of sad that they've just kind of added things in and tried to dress it up as a new game as opposed to rethink it a bit.
I wonder if they wanted to get these out on 3DS before
That's what I was just going to say.
To Switch, kind of, because I know that they've managed to keep the 3DS alive, but Switch is going to be eating its market, especially now. So I kind of think maybe that's why they just didn't want to.
They just wanted one final thing to one last hurrah, and then they were like, right, now we can focus on the Switch.
Yeah.
Which is a shame if they have done that. I mean, Jack's told me that, you know, there are tiny little features that are new, and, you know, the menu's different, but I was looking at it and I was like, that's the only thing I can see that's different is the menu. Like,
wow.
And a handful of new features. So that's a warning if anybody's thinking about it as if like it's going to be a brand new story. It's 90% the same, unfortunately.
So it's just an additional slice to your Pokemon fix, basically.
Yeah.
And I did want to just do a shout out. Grand Theft Auto 5 is number 14 in the charts. So at last it's dropping down until it's on sale on Black Friday. Yeah, and then it hits the top. Last bit of news, and it's only a tiny bit, is that the game Hidden Agenda comes out. I think it's tomorrow.
That was amazing.
The Play Link kind of murder mystery one that you do with your friends. I think it's murder mystery. It's kind of thriller.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in that. So
I played that at EGX. It was so good. Yeah, it was weird though because I played with a bunch of people I didn't know really well.
Yeah.
So I was really suspicious of them anyway. It wasn't like, oh, these are my friends, I can trust them. I was like, I don't know what any of these people's motives are. But no, that's a really good game. I'm going to keep an eye on that one.
It's super cheap as well.
Oh yeah.
I do wonder about the replayability.
Yes.
If over Christmas, if you can play it, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, or whether you play it a couple of times or once and that's it. But looks good, price point's good, so be good to hear some people's thoughts on it if they do pick it up. Which if they want to tweet us about it, that would be cool.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the news, the quick news. So again, apologies if it's a bit slapdash, but we're new to this without our recording guy. So yeah, I just then finally wanted to big up the website a little bit actually, because the last few weeks we've had Rob, who's also on our Twitter account a lot of the time as well, writing reviews like they're going out of fashion. He's got tons to come, but also there's been about 5 or 6 go up in the last week and a half. So check out the website. If you guys want to give us any feedback on it or have any ideas or things like that for it, just let us know and we can see what we can do. But for example, this week or even today, there's a post gone up with all the Black Friday PlayStation Network deals, and you can order it by cheapest to most expensive or alphabetical, and he's done quite a cool interactive table
was fantastic.
for that. Yeah, really good. Rebecca's Bloodborne post went live today for those Bloodborne fans out there.
I'll run out of stuff to say eventually, I promise.
Then we got reviews for Sonic Forces, The Blob, Outcast, Second Contact, The Little Nightmares DLC, Invisible Hours.
There's loads.
The Girl and the Robot. Is it Ore? Is that how you...
Ore, that's gone out, yeah.
So if you've played any of those games, have a read of the reviews and maybe just let us know what you thought of them and whether you agree with what Rob's saying, and give Rob some feedback as well as us, because obviously we're on the podcast. You can hear us and we've got a voice, but he's just on Twitter. So yeah. So that's kind of that's what I wanted to say about it. So without further ado, we should move on to this episode's topic.
Yeah. Okay, so since it's time relevant for this week, we're going to do a little bit of a discussion about Black Friday, about Black Friday's influence on the gaming community, on consumption, if it's a good or if it's a bad thing. We just want to throw a few ideas around. I think all of us are probably going to have the same sort of feeling about it. Like me personally, I love Black Friday. Definitely prefer to shop online, because going to a shop in person kind of scares me because I'm small, might get stampeded. I'd prefer to do my shopping from my computer, but I do really look forward to this time of year, especially because it's near Christmas. I think it's really great if you're going to be buying someone a console or if you're going to be getting some games for them. Everything seems to go, under quite a drastic drop. I work in retail, and today we were selling VR bundles for £249 when they should have been nearly £350. So just seeing something like that sell out so quick, because people wait for it all year round and then it comes up, and it's so good for businesses, and it's obviously good for the online store as well. Amazon, they do a week-long Black Friday deal.
That was going to be my first thing. It's called Black Friday, yet it seems to just
it's
be
a whole week
now.
It's
literally. I was getting emails for ages.
Black Friday. I don't know if do America have it last Friday?
No, it's this Friday. It's the Friday after Thanksgiving.
That's weird, because I got an email last Friday saying Black Friday starts today, so it is indeed like a week-long thing.
That's what I was getting from Amazon.
That's insane.
It sounds ignorant to kind of say when is it, and then I say it's the Friday after Thanksgiving. The truth is, I don't really know, and that's my first irk with it, is that it's weird that we've adopted it as a thing.
Because we don't normally adopt American traditions. Like, we obviously don't do Thanksgiving for a start. And
We started
Except
to
for-
do Halloween.
yeah.
Prom's an American thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought that's, yeah.
So it's strange. And then when the retailer I used to work for used to take, I think, money-wise, as much over the kind of Black Friday time as it did for the rest of the year, almost, or some stupid stat like that. It's massive for businesses.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I also put a tweet out this morning about it, and kind of I'm split because there's some games that are discounted this week that have only just come out.
Yeah.
A part of me feels that it's unfair.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if businesses plan it, Black Friday is coming up, let's put our game up the week before Black Friday, and then we'll sell loads because it's cheap. I know, I guess the only thing you could say, the only thing I can think of a negative to being, Black Friday with gaming consumption is, if you release a game maybe 2 or 3 weeks before Black Friday, do you think that less people will buy it then because they anticipate the drop?
Yeah, that's what I think. Obviously, with Battlefront 2, I can imagine, just in light of its like sales and stuff, that a lot of people that were originally put off are thinking, oh wait, I'll buy it now because they've revoked all the things. Oh wait, but I'll wait even longer for Black Friday. So its sales are doing so poorly compared to the first, because in light of Black Friday, people are thinking, oh, I'll just pick it up then.
Yeah.
So,
and to them, is a sale a sale? So, they're going to sell, say, 100,000 this weekend because of Black Friday. Do they look at that and think, oh, that's a shame we've
missed weeks before?
Or do they kind of think, oh, it doesn't matter because actually in the end we've sold loads? So, because all these studios that are being closed at the moment, it does kind of make you think, well, maybe if games were released at a better price, they wouldn't have to keep closing the studios.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm stuck because I've always been one to pre-order and get a game as soon as it's out.
Same.
But then not play it for months, and then
oh really?
Yeah. So then Black Friday comes around, and even so I was going to buy Need for Speed. I didn't, and then I saw it was in Black Friday. So you kind of think, oh, maybe I will. So you've got the two things. I'd either buy it straight away and not play it, which means I'm wasting my money, or so. Is Black Friday good for that? Sorry, I'm not getting my point across very well here. I don't think I'm being very coherent. But at the same time, I was going to buy Need for Speed. I didn't. Now it's in the sale. I might. So
so it's
gaining
lower.
the sale there because I'm being drawn in to buy it. But then I've bought other games on release date because I want them and not played them. So does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I know what you mean. I don't know. I think it's great in like as a consumer, just with people that have families and stuff, but they still like gaming. They don't have as much disposable income. They can wait for these big releases like Assassin's Creed and stuff, and get them at like exactly, and get them at a discounted price. It's great in light of Christmas, but obviously, my main concern is it's discouraging for fans that want to get things day one, because obviously I've just forked out £90 on Assassin's Creed Origins for the special edition I got, and £60 for my Wolfenstein 2 special edition. I've looked, and both of them are being discounted for Black Friday, and no kind of difference in price will stop me getting a game that I'm interested in day one, because being able to play that on the first day, it counts. Yeah, it counts for that price difference. I don't care, but it's still a bit of a kick in the teeth, because I could have got it cheaper, and I think it was a couple of years back. Shadow of Mordor come out, it was about £50. It was £25 like a week later, and I was just
insane.
It's some of the prices like the depreciation is it's really significant.
See, I wonder if they released a game at £25 first off and just did away with sales, would they sell more?
I'm definitely drawn in by lower prices. What does that say about me?
it would open up the market, wouldn't it, for kids with a bit of pocket money that's like, oh, I've seen this game, I can buy it. I don't have to wait for my birthday or Christmas or whatever.
My only win with Black Friday in terms of working in retail is apparently, we've seen quite a few people who come in, they don't intend to buy anything, then they see the Black Friday deals, they buy it, and then they return it a week later because They didn't like it. But because it was so cheap, they're like, oh, I'll give it a go. And I buy impulsive things all the time around Black Friday. I'll just go on the Amazon app and I'll be like, and there's a timer and it says only 14 minutes left to collect this deal. You're like, oh, go on then. I have to buy it then.
Pressure sell you into it kind of thing.
Yeah. I feel like, that's, what retailers take on. You know that there's a big game. People are going to want it. If it's going to be this price for a limited amount of time, they know they're going to sell a lot more stock than they would if it was its current price for a long duration of time. Because people are like, oh, this is only a week-long deal. I better get that now. And
you do wonder if that's true, though. Is it actually going to...
I don't know. I think
prices change so often, don't they?
They do. Mm-hmm. I feel certain companies, like Bethesda, their prices drop, like, ridiculously fast. Prey was £40 and then 2 or 3 minutes later it was down to like £19.
Yeah, you can get like Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition now with like
£7
DLC. That it would have cost you like £30
if not more
just for the DLC, and obviously £40 for the game as well. You look at it now, it's like
Wolfenstein 2.
It's dropped.
Yeah, like straight away it's £25, I think.
It's insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you look at me and I paid £60.
I do think that Black Friday is great. In terms of being a consumer, I think that I always try and buy, if I'm buying a console or something for a family member, or I'm buying a lot of video games, I always try and do my Christmas shopping for video games around Black Friday, because I know that what a great opportunity to get people what they want at a discounted price. But I get Nicole's point of view too. It sucks when you've bought something that's a lot of money and then you go into a shop and it's £20 less and you're like,
so I kicking the chops.
It's so irritating.
It's like that in life, isn't it? And everything that you buy, or you've got the choice to when you buy it. And I think sometimes you can overthink these things. But part of me I'd rather them maybe address the prices of game. Well, no, because games, I suppose, over the years haven't actually gone up in price much anyway. So I was going to say, well, maybe if they can afford to sell Wolfenstein 2 weeks after launch for £25, why not launch it at £25? But then they, at the end of the day, they're businesses, they're employing people, they've got to recoup some costs, and I expect in order for Amazon and other retailers to sell it for £25, they've got to buy tons of them, or make up that kind of shortfall somewhere for the publisher.
It's a risk, isn't it? It's a big risk.
But
I don't know. I think. What about you? You guys, if you were to buy video games or bundles, would you go into a shop or would you do it online?
I don't think I've bought a game from a shop for years.
Really?
From a physical store, either Tesco's or on a high street. I think the last thing I bought from the high street was another case for my Switch, so an old case, not the new one that I've recently bought. I will always buy from online now.
Amazon's my number one. I always go to Amazon.
I don't buy from Amazon if I want it on release date, ever.
Do you not?
Oh, no,
do you have a bad rapport with them? I've got mine. This is a bit off topic, but when I bought Resident Evil Revelations, I got it 2 days before its release date. Like, it just appeared. And it hadn't even come out. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's an anomaly, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mine
Maybe they just like me.
Maybe.
They must do. I got, obviously, big Ratchet and Clank fan. I ordered Q-Force for Amazon because it was, like, significantly cheaper. I ordered it, like, it wasn't, like, a week before where, you can kind of accept that maybe, like, I was on the tail end of the pre-orders. I ordered it months before it was, like, released. And it got to the day, and I was just there like, where's my game? I was like, what the hell? This isn't fair. So I sent them a very angry, like, tastefully worded email saying, like, where the hell is my game? And they're like, oh, well, it's just, you're just securing it. You're not getting it for release day. I'm like,
what?
Oh, my, I was just there. So I basically coaxed them into sending me another copy, which ended up being a present for someone else because both copies came.
I won't say any more of that in case they're listening.
Do you think that there's I don't really know too much about this, but I definitely have heard people in the past years saying, isn't it unfair that online retailers have a not as good price drops as actual physical retailers. So, for example, say you wanted to order something off Tesco, and there was a bigger price drop in Tesco physically. Have you ever heard of that, or is that just a one-off thing that I heard for Black Friday?
It's different for me, because I mean, obviously my kind of retailer that I go for games is Game, and my like local store is considerable cheaper, like in store, like for everything.
I've noticed that as well. Yeah. I've noticed that.
But because I'll go online, I'll be like, oh right, I'll go into Game and pick that up because I'm going to town today. Don't need to wait for it. Go into town, it's like £10 more. Like, you know. Oh wait, no, wait. Did I say that right?
£10. Wait.
Yeah, I'll go in and be like, and I'll be like, oh my god, like I was like expecting to have to, like, you know,
to fork out.
Yeah, but it's significantly cheaper. It's just, I don't know. It's
because I'm wondering.
I was going to say, you can definitely save money by shopping around, though, can't you? Because some games are cheaper some places than others. So
I was just going to say, I wonder if they people set their prices cheaper in stores because they want you to come into the store and then obviously get your eyes caught by different things.
Maybe,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, where you're walking around. Well, me too.
This chocolate bar for £1. Yeah.
Oh, it's only £1.
Yeah. What do you think about something I noticed on Amazon, and also it's happening at the moment on the PlayStation Store, where they're kind of locking certain prices and sales out to certain customers. So at the moment, you can. I was looking at a new desktop hard drive, and the price if you were a Prime member was £140, but if you weren't a Prime member, it was £180. And
that annoys me.
And also with the PlayStation Store, the sale is live now if you're a Plus member, but if you're not a Plus member, admittedly you're going to get the prices when they go live on Thursday, but they're not live yet. So
that really gets under my skin, that does.
That's a kind of catch-22 though, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're a PS Plus member, that's like gold. It's like, oh my god, I paid for PS Plus. Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm getting all these benefits. It justifies you paying that, you know, subscription fee. But then when you're outside of that deal, you're like, well, that's not fair.
Yeah. So that's what I felt like with the hard drive on Amazon. I'm not a Prime member. I don't see the value in it. Obviously, talking about this means I'm thinking about it. But I kind of just think, well, it's a bit, I don't know if it's unfair or not. It's just one of those, and again, it's one of those things, I suppose, that it's the way the industry works is that these businesses and companies want us to pay a subscription model fee rather than just one-off payments now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that it is what it is, isn't it? They know what they're doing. All companies know how to, make sales and make bundles and that will give them as much money as possible. That's why, most companies have their own little loyalty cards, or, Tesco will be like, do you have your Tesco Club card with you? Yeah. They know what they're doing. So if they can utilize, you going to the store, seeing things, spending money, signing up to a loyalty group essentially, then, they've played it right, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Black Friday just pushes that along, and it's a great week for sales and retail. Black Friday is.
I find actually, like, with the likes of Game, for instance, I find that if I'm online, I tend to just kind of go and buy what I want and come off. Whereas if I go in store, even when I get to the till and I've dodged all the temptation the whole way through the shop, they're at the till and they're like, oh, by the way, I'd like to, pre-order Horizon Zero Dawn today. I'm like, oh, okay, well, there's a million other things you can pre-order as well if you'd like. And it's just like, oh, we've got this edition. And I'm just like, oh, okay, just take my purse and burn it.
Yeah.
But overall, though, do you guys think that Black Friday is a good thing for the gaming industry?
Yeah, I suppose overall it is, I think. Anything that means that there's more sales, which means there's more finance in the industry to make more games and to be more successful. I suppose it is a good thing, really.
Yeah.
It's just one of those
generally
things.
Makes consumers happy as well. So it's kind of an all-round, aside from, the likes of me that spends loads of money on special editions. It's like, oh, here you go. Have it half price for Black Friday. It's like, oh, great, yeah. What a waste of time.
I know a lot of people who, once Black Friday passes, they're like, oh, I can't wait till next Black Friday. And it's literally a year away. They're like, oh, because I think people think, oh, just imagine how, I know it probably won't come out next year, but people might be like, oh, imagine how cheap Last of Us Part 2 might be in Black Friday 2019, for example.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So people are like, oh, my favourite game, I might not be able to get it in its release day in April, but Black Friday that year, maybe it'll have dropped. So,
and again, you can perceive that as a positive and a negative, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think publishers will start thinking about when they release these games, because Christmas has always been notoriously bad for piling up with releases, because you have FIFA, Call of Duty, Battlefield, you have all the big
mainly
hitters.
Multiplayers tend to
then
dominate this time.
Black Friday to contend with. So not only, if you're a small developer now, not only have you got to worry about when you release it to fit around all those guys, you've then also got to think, well, actually, what if FIFA and Battlefront or Battlefield, and all that come down in price? No one's going to buy my game. So it's a
minefield, isn't it?
Yeah, it may make it tougher. And I think that's why we've seen Sony the past few years release Gravity Rush in February and Horizon in March, because maybe it does give those games that bit of breathing space to be a bit more successful rather than get lost in the mire.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. But if that's all covered, I think we can move on to user questions now, and Nicole can run us through them.
Yeah, so obviously these are all pulled from the tweet I put up earlier on the SquareXO account. So the first one is from, let me get this up, it is from Sergeant Stangrod, who says, "Hey Nick, what other hobbies do you guys have besides gaming? Any guilty pleasures?"
Go on then, you can start.
Yeah, go on then.
I'm trying to think. I used to draw a lot more. I like doing fan art.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I draw Pokemon and stuff. I used to take a lot of pride in it. I had a DeviantArt account, and it was really.
Oh my god, I had a DeviantArt account.
That was the place to be back in the day.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, but
someone needs to hunt those down and put them on Twitter.
I can put mine on Twitter right now if you want.
I used to. Yeah, we're not going to go there. It's just a whole different story. But I do some drawing and that, and I like doing Christmas presents of drawing, making Christmas presents for people, of framing my artwork and stuff. I take a lot of pride in that.
That's cool.
And other than that, I paint miniatures. It's the most
you're very artistic.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. I'm not particularly good at it. But it makes me feel good, and that's all that matters.
Just paint them all one colour, job done.
Yeah.
It's an abstract piece. Yeah.
But I'm kind of the same. I always used to draw or be creative, but
that makes sense. You're
moaning about work. Yeah, where I'm creative all day, sadly, once the day's over, my brain is just mush. So kind of gaming is my escape and my one way to get away from real life. We like going walking, so me and Lisa, we like to go out for walks or to kind of just get outside a little bit more as a hobby, I think. But I don't really have another hobby. Actually. I like watching films, but similar reasons to why I like to game. But I prefer to game if I can.
Yeah, gaming is all-consuming. Yeah.
What about you, Rebecca?
I'm a massive reader. I probably read about 75 books a year. So any money I'm not spending on video games, I'm spending on books. I don't know. I think I always liked reading when I was young, when I was 13, and then I just stopped, and then I just got into it again. And now I read every night before I go to bed. I read every morning. I read in my car if I get to work early or uni early. I just sit there and I read a book. I just find reading really nice. It's a bit like gaming in a way that, you're sort of escaping into another.
Yeah, see, I can't do reading because
I love it.
I have to use my mind to then build the world. And again,
I find that so easy.
It sounds like really poncy or what for what, but again, my brain can't function to do that after the day.
I know people who go through really long days, and I'm like, oh, if I do a really long day at work or uni, all I want to do is read a book, which sounds really weird because it is, when you read a book, it's on paper, so you have to imagine the characters, you have to imagine the story. I just find myself, even if I'm not thinking about it, I'm just picturing them, so I don't even have to think about it. I'm just seeing it in my head, like, oh, this is happening. So I find it really relaxing. Spend a lot of money on books.
Question then. Actually, did you ever read the Darren Shan series?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, because that's I used to read so much when I was younger, and now all I can read is something that's related to Pokemon, Star Wars, or video games. That's all I can do.
Really?
Nothing else piques my interest at all.
Ooh,
It's all
I like thrillers. I like really dark stuff, like stuff where I tell my mum about. My mum bought me, she buys me books for my birthday because all I want is books. And some of them, she says, like, she's wrapping them up. She's like, these are really dark, Rebecca. Like,
you're just there, like,
do you
rubbing
like
your hands
reading
together?
this?
Should I worry about you?
I'm like, yeah, it's really good. It's like this happens and there's a murder and then this happens. And I'm like, and she's like, but why do you like reading this? She like really does not get it.
Oh dear. Right. Next question. So we got from XJ Gaming recommendations on games featured in the Black Friday sale. That's the first part of the question. Okay. So.
Well, I can recommend one straight away, and I tweeted about it as soon as I saw it was in the sale last week, which is Aragami, which is on the PlayStation Network store. I think it's like £6 if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, or £8 if you're not. So it's really cheap, but it's a really, really good game. So if you've not,
I think I've watched a YouTuber play it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's an indie game. It looks great. It's stealth ninja, and it's cool. So that would be my recommendation.
Three guesses on what Rebecca wants to recommend that I've seen is discounted this month.
I was just going to say, like, guess what I think everyone should go back. Yeah, I think everyone should go and get Bloodborne for obvious reasons. I'm quite tempted to get it myself, but I'm not going to do that because I already own it, so I need to restrain myself. Yeah. I don't need it.
Buy Origami instead.
I have 2 copies. I have the Game of the Year copy and I have the standard copy, and it's like, but I can have the No, I don't need to do that. But yeah. Because I get a lot of people messaging me and they're like, obviously, like, you're obsessed with Bloodborne, you don't stop talking about it. Is it easy to get into? I don't want to spend, £30 on a game that is really hard. And it is hard, but I don't know how much it is. It's not too expensive, is it? I'm just trying to find it now. I think Rob said it, sent me a link, and he said it's, between £11 and £15.
Yeah, about that, I think.
So it's worth giving it a go for that price, because you're not really, it's an amazing game, and if it's that cheap and you're interested, I feel like anybody who's at least a little bit interested in Bloodborne loves it, like, even if there's just a tiny little spark. So I'd recommend that, but there's no surprise there. I think you guys could have told them what I would have recommended to them.
I reckon so.
I would have to say, just on account of how much I'm enjoying it, Assassin's Creed Origins. Like,
I want to play it so bad.
Yeah, if you kind of given up on the series in kind of the last few releases, it's definitely a place to pick up again. And I mean, getting it, I've seen it going like a decent price, obviously, because it's been a big kick in the teeth to me. But honestly, it's so good. And I would also say Battlefront 2, if it does go down, which I'm presuming it will, just in light of everything, because I think everyone kind of knocked it for the whole ordeal that happened, which I won't go over again.
But more people in kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it would definitely be a good time to buy it and actually give it that chance, because it deserves it. So, which, funnily enough, brings us on to the second part of the question, which is opinions about Star Wars Battlefront 2. And obviously, I'm presuming I'm the only one that's played it.
I think you are.
You presume correct.
But I couldn't talk it up enough. Like, if I tried, I've really enjoyed it. The campaign is really engaging, and the lead's fantastic. And the multiplayer is such an improvement from the last game. It really kind of takes the series back to its roots. I think you said you played the older ones, didn't you, Dan?
No.
You didn't?
I don't play first-person shooters. No, not me. I only play Wolfenstein.
It might have been Joe. Someone said they played the old ones.
Who shall not be named.
But it kind of takes the series back to its roots, which is obviously really nostalgic, and the whole game's got the really quintessential Star Wars feel. It's gorgeous, and playing it just makes you want to crave a new campaign game. Really? It's really good.
So out of the 3 first-person shooters that have come out in the last 3 weeks, or whatever it's been, Call of Duty, Battlefront 2, and Wolfenstein, have you played all 3?
I haven't played Wolfenstein 2 yet, because that's in my backlog, because obviously I've got to
get you to rank them.
Review it.
But maybe we can do that another episode then, possibly.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to. Yeah, once I get all my reviews done, because I'm slacking. Right, what have we got now? We've got Sean Rude Cold has asked, our thoughts on the results of the golden joysticks.
Yeah, I kind of
expected it.
Yeah, I did do a tweet about it as well because I was surprised, and I know I don't want to sound like a moaning old git moaning about Horizon again, but I was surprised it won Best Storytelling when.
Yeah, that's
Here we go.
But I thought even Lost Legacy, where
that was
you know, where they're just the incidental chatting to get to know the characters and the background story of the people of the protagonists. You kind of the storytelling in that was really nicely done, and it was subtle, and you got to know the characters. And I didn't feel that the storytelling unless I'm misreading what the reward actually means. Award actually means.
Award.
The storytelling in Horizon just felt non-existent. It was conversation wheels.
Yeah, that's equally what I'd contest.
Even in a game like Persona 5, which I'm still trudging through, the storytelling in that, it's done so well that you just want to keep finding out more and going and going. I don't know. I don't want to moan about it because obviously it's a very successful game and they've done a great job. I suppose it's quite a mainstream release, and the golden joysticks are extremely mainstream. So maybe games like Lost Legacy. Well, then Lost Legacy is another massive IP. It's Uncharted. So that was my only kind of, and I was surprised Breath of the Wild won Ultimate Game as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my thoughts. We won't go on too long. Anyway.
Yeah, I think obviously I don't think I think the storytelling for Horizon was dull, and that's the reason I would contest that. And I mean, I love the game, but I just think it became painful to try and get some more insight into the story. You were just like, I just want to get in, get out with these conversations.
I skipped like every conversation wheel after like 75% way through the game. I was like, oh yeah, skip. Yeah, you got to go to the mine. Yeah, okay, cool, whatever.
Yeah, I suppose it depends how kind of like liberally they're using the words.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful game. It's what they've achieved is stunning, and the world is brilliant. It's massive. You know, there's some really good things going for it, but I don't think storytelling was one of the best. Maybe I need to play it again. I don't know. I don't want to, maybe I need to try out the DLC or something, because maybe I'm just missing the point. I don't know. But
Shall I have to admit, I have not played it because I don't have an Xbox, but I'm really happy that Cuphead won Best Visual Design. I think that game looks amazing. It deserved to win that. It was so quirky, and the music was amazing too. I know that it didn't get anything for the music, but I just, ever since I played that game at EGX, I've sort of been like keeping up with it, like watching people. Watching people play it and watching boss fights and stuff. And I'm really glad that it won. It got Best Visual Design. It looks really good. Do
you know what? I think a massively visually overlooked game is Persona 5.
It is, isn't it?
And because the screenshots are locked, I don't think
not many
see
people
much.
See it.
No, but like the UI, so the menus and the battle system and the transitions for loading screens, as a graphic designer, they're amazing. Like, they're beautifully done. The use of colour is great. But it doesn't get any plaudits. I don't know if it got a nomination for that, for kind of best designed or best looking game, but I think I've praised it for locking screenshots because spoilers have been kept to a minimum, but I think maybe it has stopped it possibly getting the recognition from the more casual market that it might deserve. It's an amazing looking game.
Yeah, I honestly could not tell you what it looked like. I wouldn't have a clue what it looked like, which is insane because it's been out for a long time now.
Yeah, it's a long old game.
It's really weird. Yeah. I can't even pick most games. Even if I've not played them, you could say, Assassin's Creed Origins, and I have a picture in my head of what it looks like. Yeah, and that I just have literally no idea. Like, which is clever.
Do a Google of it, and you'll get a good.
It's clever though, isn't it? Because you're like, oh, I'm intrigued. I guess I'm going to have to buy it to find out.
It's in Black Friday, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. It's just so long. I think I'm 55 hours in, and there's another guy that I talked to on Twitter that's playing it, and he's 75 hours in, and he's in the kind of dungeon, the next dungeon onto me. So, like, it's based on a daily life, so you play a day at a time, and the days they're not locked to a length, but they're all a specific length, so you have to work through it. So it is just a long game, but it is great. We can talk about that more another time. Sorry.
Yeah.
Carry on, Nick, with your questions.
Okay. Well, yeah, but I think we've got like 2 left. But the other Scott J is asking, with Black Friday sales hitting hard, will the Xbox X initial sales do enough to dent the PS4? That's worded strangely. Yeah. No offense. Deals like a pro with 2 games, i.e. COD and GT Sport, for about £300 is a steal. If it does or doesn't, where does Microsoft go from here? And will that have a long-term effect on PS4? I'm not sure to what extent you feel we've covered this, but I'll, let you.
Yeah. I feel like Microsoft are just really focused on the Xbox One X, aren't they, right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the Black Friday stuff that I've been working on for clients has been Xbox One X. Yeah, 500 gig ones. Yeah. So they're pushing that, I suppose. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about it too much. It sounds stupid. I don't really care. No, I don't really know about it. The whole console war thing on Twitter is just... It's so annoying. I don't understand why people just can't enjoy what they've got. And I know that sounds like I'm sat in an ivory tower talking down at people, but if you love gaming, just enjoy gaming.
Yeah, it's a community, isn't it? It's not, a war. And I mean, I think I saw something the other day where someone had, I couldn't for the life of me think of the context, but someone had basically blocked someone else because they were, I put in quotation commas, a PS4 fanboy.
Yeah. No, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But I suppose to answer the other Scott's question, I think what he's kind of saying is the PS4's got such an unassailable lead that what can Microsoft do to kind of catch them? And maybe they don't want to catch them. Maybe at the moment they're happy to just have the most powerful system and try and build on that. And sometimes you kind of have to concede defeat. It's a bit like in F1 where the fastest car's always going to win, and then it's always about next season and developing that. So maybe Xbox are just testing things with the X and going to start building up games behind the scene to tackle PS5. I think there's definitely a place for Microsoft in the market, and without them, PS4 would, or PlayStation or Sony would struggle because, as we've said before, competition breeds better things. So,
yeah. Huh. Wow. We've got another question from Stardust Ancient, who I think this is actually quite relevant as well. Thoughts on PlayLink and whether or not it's any good?
Yes, it's good.
I haven't played that.
Is it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's our answer. Job done.
I've only played like I said, I only played a demo of Hidden Agenda at EGX, but it was so fun. But I don't know, it just feels really fun playing it with all your friends, and especially for Hidden Agenda. It's, at some points you have to work together, and then at other points one person has an alibi, and they're working against you. So you're trusting your friends, but at the same time you're but one of them is. I just think it's very clever. I love how you can just do it through your phone, and everybody can only see their own screen, so you don't know what people around you are doing. I think it looks great.
That's it. In principle, I love the idea. At Christmas we tend to play Jackbox with my family, which is a similar thing where the questions are all on the telly through the PS4, but then you do your answers through your phone by logging into a website. So PlayLink is basically that, but with more first-party games. So I think it's a great idea. I just haven't played it to be able to say whether it's good or not. I haven't played any of the games, but I'm interested in Hidden Agenda for sure.
Is the PlayLink thing, do you know, I haven't really paid much attention to it because to me it has this kind of social family thing about it, and I know I sound like a hermit when I say it, but that doesn't really appeal to me. Yeah. But is it done through a universal PlayLink app, or is it an app for each game?
Couldn't tell you. Rebecca?
We when we did it at EGX, it was an app on each phone, and then you synced it up with the game, and then it all just popped up on your phone screen. Is
the app kind of corresponding with the game, or is it just a PlayLink app where you can kind of have every game?
I think it corresponded with the game because it was all it was literally timed perfectly with the main game. So when Hidden Agenda came up on the screens, it came up on the phone. So I think it's linked together like that.
Maybe we can do some investigation and actually figure that out. Because again, I know with Jackbox, you just went to a unique URL that logged you into the game. So there was no app, but yeah.
We'll know more when it's out, won't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so if it's a thing where for every PlayLink game you have to download a different app, that is going to deter me from kind of participating, because definitely. I have a 16 gig phone and my phone will not handle 50 apps just for PlayLink. So
I can't imagine they'd do that.
No,
I feel like it'll be a PlayLink app. Yeah.
Right, so last question is from House to 34. Do you think it's now or never for PSVR?
I think PSVR is like on a rise, isn't it? It had this weird gap in the middle after it was released where it was quiet. And now I feel like there's quite a few games coming out for it or, been released on it.
I mean, the prices at the moment are ridiculous. So
Yeah.
I think if it's going to be now or never, it's going to be now. But I'm still...
Cough, Black Friday cough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've still got I've got no interest in it. I've still got no interest in it. I don't feel there's the killer app there or the reason to get me to play VR. I've just got no interest.
Everything on
I've heard
VR
good things
just
about
makes me
Skyrim.
sick.
Yeah.
Skyrim, yeah, that might be quite good.
But that's like a 10-year-old game, isn't it? It's still not that one experience where it might be to some, I suppose, but it's not like, well, I've got to try this so I can talk about it with people. There's not been that, for me anyway, there's not been that thing. And I couldn't even tell you what that thing would be unless it was The Last of Us 2, I suppose. But
Yeah, that would be intense.
I just don't think it would work as a VR game I don't know. For me, gaming is being sat in front of a big telly with surround sound or stereo or headphones on and kind of playing that way. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but...
I agree.
No, I'm the same.
Yeah.
Well, that concludes the user questions.
Cool. Good work.
So, what's everyone been playing? Starting with you, Daniel.
Okay, well, obviously, again, it's been a long time since I've been on the pod. I won't speak too much in length now because we've been going almost an hour, which is pretty good going for our first one of the new format. So, mainly Persona 5. Like I mentioned earlier, I think I'm about 55, 58 hours into it now, so I've ploughed quite a lot of time into that. Still loving it. I've played Hellblade, actually, since I last spoke to everyone.
Oh, I really want to know about that.
So I'll talk about that for a couple of minutes then, rather than everything else. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's a really good game. And the storytelling in that's also amazing.
Is it?
The way it's done. And nothing's really ever said. It's all kind of inferred, and you can make of it what you want. So I suppose everyone will take something different from it into what it's meant to represent, I suppose. But as gameplay wise, it's good. I really liked it. I like the fact that it was fairly linear, that you didn't feel like you were getting lost in the world. You could go off and do a bit of exploring and take some screenshot pictures, but you never felt like you were getting held back or getting held up. Sorry, like with some games, you kind of think, "Oh, I've got to hurry up and get through this." Or, it was it looked good. The combat was good. It was heavy attack, light attack, parry. So and block, so kind of simplistic but with depth. I think it was about 12 chapters, so it was about 6 to 8 hours long. I can't remember exactly, but really, really good game. I suppose the biggest negative point to me, and probably the barrier to entry for most people, was the asking price. Now, I know it's a AAA digital game, and I know that Ninja Theory spent a lot of time and effort on making it. So they deserve the money for it. But for some people, I think maybe that a brand new digital game at that price is asking a little bit too much when you don't then physically get something. Again,
I would want a physical copy.
Yeah. That's old-fashioned me, but yeah, I think if it came physical, I think I'd buy it again. So really good game. So that's what I've been playing.
Okay, Rebecca, what have you been playing?
Bloodborne, but we won't go into that. I think I told you that, I can't remember the last podcast if I said, but I started playing Dying Light the Following, and I don't know why, because I finished Dying Light in 2015, and obviously the Following has been around for a long time, and only just now have I really thought, I want to get into it. I really like it. It's weird though, to me it doesn't feel like Dying Light, if you know what I mean. It feels sort of like Dying Light 2.
Oh,
like they've to me, I don't know if it's because there's a car in it or I'm not sure. To me though, it doesn't feel like a DLC. It really does feel like the next game. I'm not sure if it's because it's a long DLC. Maybe because one of these people who I want to do every side quest. I want to help everybody out on the map. If I see an exclamation mark on the map, I'm going to it and I'm going to find out what I can do. But it just feels like such a different game, and it's really strange because the settings different. That's like the main thing about it. But it's still dying light. But when I'm playing it, I feel like I could be playing like a completely different game. It's really weird. I don't know why. But yeah, I really like it. I am having issues with the climbing, which I'm not sure if that's like a bug or if it's just me not being able to use the controls properly. But apart from that, I really like it. I've nearly done it, and I'm trying to hold on to it because I haven't got any new games planned, if you know what I mean, after that.
Yeah.
That sounds good, though. It sounds good that they've made an effort in the DLC.
Yeah, it does feel like that. I mean, like, it's a really well fleshed out game. It's long. I don't know. Nicole, you've played it, haven't you? Have you played it?
Yeah.
How long do you think it took you to complete it?
I think, I can't remember now. I literally can't remember. I remember I played it co-op, and that made it like considerably easier to get through. Like, I think I would have spent a lot longer if I played it by myself.
It's definitely taken me at least 15 hours, and I've not really been. I've been doing, every time I log on, I'm doing something. I'm not just like, oh, let's just run around for like half an hour. But I really like it. Yeah. I don't know why it took me so long to get it. It literally took me like 2 years, but.
Yeah, I think they put a lot of effort to it as well, because I think they're the same. I think they're the same developer that did Dead Island.
I think they are.
So,
yeah, and I kind of got the vibe that obviously, like, Dead Island, like the first couple of games, like they were good, but equally they didn't kind of like turn out to be everything. They didn't kind of amount to all they were meant to. And I think the developer has taken on Dying Light as the Dead Island that worked.
Yeah.
So they're trying to, like, it's their pride and joy, and you know they're cuddling it like a child and nurturing it, and you know, kind of utilizing it and making it the best it can be. So I'm glad though. That's good. I still need to play that actually.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's been a good haul.
Good.
What about you then, Nick? Yeah.
I've literally just been playing well, I've played quite the ensemble, but I'm going to focus on Assassin's Creed and Battlefront.
Yeah.
Just because I'm so happy with both of them. Like, I've been sitting there like a excited like little girl playing them, because they've really thrown me. Like, they kind of exceeded all my expectations. Like, especially with Assassin's Creed, like Ubisoft have, over the past couple of installments, really started dragging the Assassin's Creed name through the mud. As you could tell by, like, obviously all the 1-star reviews we did, like they didn't speak very highly of it. But like, this game is been the reimagining the series has needed. The combat is fresh. They've really kind of worked on the RPG elements, and they're more forefront, and they work. Like, it feels, to be honest, when I was first playing it, it didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game. It felt like something entirely different, but it worked.
Yeah.
And like, with the new combat style, the RPG kind of like thing that they brought forward in it really works. It's more hands-on. You're not waiting for enemies to say, oh, here you go, just kill my mate before I jump in and have a go. Like, everyone's attacking you at once, and it makes you, they've implemented a lot of new stealth kind of ways to tackle a combat situation. So when you do get in combat, it's a bit intense. So you want to, you know, try and like pick off enemies best you can first.
Sounds good. It sounds good because I think that the series has been dragged through the mud maybe a little bit lately, and people are a bit fed up. So
yeah, definitely.
It's good to hear kind of you say it's good, and that they've, you know, tweaked some bits and pieces. So
yeah, it goes to show as well that, like, actually not rushing a game, fine-tuning it, not kind of trying to meet these deadlines annually, proves that it works in their favour.
Yeah.
And I think developers should kind of like take more pride in their games, as opposed to just getting them out to get the income.
Definitely, yeah. I think that's a bit like life, isn't it? Like, you take pride in what you do and take your time, and you'll get a better result, I think.
You need to start a new hashtag SquareXO, like, life lessons.
Yeah. The moral of this episode's podcast. No, sorry, yeah. The moral of this podcast. Oh, whatever. It's been a long one.
It's okay. We get the gist. But obviously, yeah, I've been playing Battlefront 2 as well, and again, it's kind of a game that's exceeded my expectations. I was a bit, you know, hesitant of buying it on release, because Battlefront 1 really kind of run its course for me very quickly. Like, I'm a big multiplayer player. I enjoy multiplayer games, and it died out for me very quickly.
Yeah.
And in Battlefront 2, they've kind of implemented a much stronger, more functional multiplayer that I can see being like long standing, not kind of like dwindling out after a couple of months. I can see it lasting a while, especially with some of the DLC that I've heard they've got like planned for it. So
do you think it'll pull people away from the likes of Destiny 2, or is it too different?
I don't know. I think Destiny 2 is what Destiny 2 manages is they manage to draw people in every week because they have the reoccurring events that reset every week.
Yeah.
And with that, like, no one tends to give up on it. But I don't know, with Battlefront, I don't know, what I think Battlefront always has in its favour is the fact that everyone wants more Star Wars.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
and
until they redo the films over and over and over again.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So that's for a different podcast, but yeah.
Yeah. But everyone's got that fundamental kind of Star Wars craving, and it really satisfies that. Like the noises, like the scenery, like without kind of spoiling too much, you're kind of you fly like through debris of like a blown up kind of Death Star. Like it establishes itself really early on so well in this like the timeline of events. So it's not like you're going through like, oh, well, I don't know how this kind of works with the rest of Star Wars. It works really well. It's not just an anomaly, like a line off of the, like a tangent off of the timeline. It's really focused and set well. And for that, I can't flaw it at the moment. I can't. I'm trying to find a flaw, but I can't at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
Cool.
So,
sounds good.
Do you want to start wrapping things up?
Yeah, I think we should for this episode. We're at 1 hour 6 minutes, so pretty good going. So, yeah.
Good. Okay, well, just a final reminder that everyone should partake in our lovely screenshot competition with the hashtag SquareXO November, and upon choosing a winner, they will be sent a lovely keyring. What is it this month you got
I think
done?
it's the first NAC that's
NAC, isn't it?
So I think it's NAC. I think Aloy's all gone and NAC is back. So yeah.
I've literally lost track.
Yeah. I think it's NAC. So yeah. I'll do another tweet at some point.
Yeah. So yeah, just be sure to share your screenshots with the SquareXO November hashtag. Again, just to reiterate everything Dan said at the beginning, be sure to follow us on social media, check out our website and so forth, and leave us a nice review on iTunes if you enjoyed listening. And on a final note, any feedback on this new format that we've tried out would be greatly appreciated, because we want to know how it's worked for everyone. So I'm sure Dan's eager to find out everyone's...
I hope it's recorded and that people are hearing this. Because we had a bit of technical gremlins to begin with. So I'll apologise now if the levels of our voices are wrong, or you can only hear me, or I don't know. If it's rubbish, it's my fault, but hopefully we got there with it. So yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Cool.
Okay, well, do you want to wave us off, Dan?
Yeah, all right. Well, you did a good job then. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Hopefully we'll be back next week. And until then, goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.